I missed that music on our last podcast.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
It's been a hot minute.
Yep.
It's been a hot minute.
Yep.
But speaking of hot,
Yes.
it is beautiful in this little small space today.
Yeah, okay.
Well, a good temperature.
Okay, yeah, I would
Good
agree.
temp.
Yeah.
We're dressed in our fall wear.
Yep.
Woo. Looking cute and red.
We do look
We
fabulous
do
today.
look fabulous.
Yep.
Gosh, I can't wait for today.
You know, and our guest was the first one to compliment
Yes,
how we
he
looked.
was.
Yeah.
I know, but and you also complimented me,
Yes.
which was sweet, and I
Yes.
complimented you. And
Yeah.
I went to the dentist earlier and said I thought she was a friend. She's like, "Oh, nice Christmas tree outfit," and
Yeah, I didn't get that all day.
I
didn't get anything.
Yeah, I was like, "Wow, thanks."
Nobody complimented me.
Yet. Yeah, the day is still young.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be so much fun. We've been trying to get this guest on our show for 3 months.
Yeah, he's dodged just a few times.
He has. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I can't,"
Yeah, super busy.
Yeah, got a fungal infection on my foot. I can't make it. Things
Yeah,
like that.
got stuff going on.
Or like he'll be in here when we need it. And it's
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
we share this awesome space.
Yep.
So again, welcome back to another episode of Coaching, Caffeine, and Comedy. I'm your host, Haley Kobsa.
And I'm Lena.
And today we have Cal,
The voice, the man, the voice of McCook.
the myth, the legend.
Yes.
He is like real in person.
Yeah.
Oh, Cal.
Yeah. It's probably
what's your
another
Oh my goodness.
spot he needs to do. Radio
yeah,
spot.
I know, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Won it all over.
Yeah.
I just have one question.
Okay.
Yes.
Why am I here?
Why? Because.
I am not a coach.
Nope.
I kind of like caffeine. I'm certainly not funny.
Oh, you're funny.
so
you are so
those
funny.
You
are
are
the,
funny.
Those are the three
know-
criteria that look to me like coaching, caffeine, and comedy, and
Yeah.
I miss basically on all three.
You know, one, you've already got 10 points for us, Cal, because you know the podcast name.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, amen.
check,
yes.
check,
One.
check.
Yep.
Second, it's not just about being a coach. Everybody's a coach in their own nature.
Yeah.
Like you do a lot of things, which
True.
is basically like the same thing as coaching.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I have been up close to coaches in the last year, and I am not a coach.
I mean, well, you're not, but you are a coach of life. You are
Yes.
a coach of life. And secondly, you're a bus driver.
That I am.
And that's, yeah. And so we have a good relationship, and you're just such an awesome person. So we brought you on here. I know, you're filling your head too big.
I'm
much?
red.
Oh my gosh.
This is
Cal is great. And you are a funny bus driver.
I don't know how you can be a funny bus driver, but it's just, I've always had an affinity for buses. It's crazy. When I lived in Denver, I got up to give my seat to a blind man on a bus. And that's when I lost my first bus driving job, was that day. So ever since then, I've been wanting to get...
There's the comedy part. He always has a joke.
I literally was like,
You didn't follow that.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't pick right
Whether
up on
they
it.
are politically correct or not, he always has a joke. You can count on him
That
for
is-
that. Always. Yeah. And that just fits with what we're doing today. Yep.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Cal, so we're going to do a few warm-ups with you.
Terrific.
He deserves them.
I am going to get my timer ready.
Oh, a timer?
A timer. So this one's really fun. I'll let Lena explain the rules. Go, Lena. Make sure
I
you
have
tell
been
all
where
of them.
you are. Yes. So you will get 15 seconds
15.
to come up with all of the words you can for whatever letter we give you.
Okay.
And you have to do that 3 times. We will give you 3 different letters, 15 seconds each, total of 45, and you have to do your best.
And they can't be a name.
They cannot be a name. I always
Oh,
forget
that's
that rule.
not fair.
I know.
Yeah. You know what? You get a small handicap.
I am a
True.
handicap.
You want 20 seconds?
Let's do... Oh, we can do 20 seconds.
Well, No, I think maybe 5 seconds would be better.
No. We'll do 20 seconds.
No, let's
you get
not do
3 letters, and you have to get 30 points. So that's 10 words a letter.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right.
You got the
And your
letters,
first
Lena?
letter is E.
Eerie, enamel, emu, eclectic, environment, ecological,
Wow.
empire, egg, eggplant.
Okay. Nice.
What?
Wow.
That's
Wow,
9.
that was impressive.
Yeah, but it was 20 seconds.
I know, but still.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, give him a harder letter.
No kidding.
No, that
Okay.
was plenty freaking hard enough.
We're at 9.
Okay. Ready? The letter R.
R. Radio, rascal, rhapsody, rehash, reboot, ridiculous, remember, remind, recoil, rapid, rally. I can only get to 9. I just can't get any more.
No, you got 11.
Yeah, you got
Oh, you got 11 that
11.
time? Oh,
Yes.
back
That
on
was really
10
good. Wow,
then.
yeah,
Okay.
you're on
my
track. Oh my gosh.
gosh.
Okay, we're going to break this one down. You get 15 seconds for this next one.
Yes. The letter is K.
Ooh, good.
Kill, kick, kind,
Whoa.
kindness, Kuiper. Is that a word?
I don't know. I
don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Keg. You guys know what that is, right? That's a word
Oh,
and a
Lena
thing.
does.
Keg. Keeper.
Oh,
I was gonna say
we're gonna
keeper.
give him
man.
7 because
Keep
we.
Yeah,
it
that was
Keeper.
close.
Yeah.
That was close.
I
Good
shouldn't
job,
have-
Cal.
I shouldn't have
Wow.
stopped in the middle.
Oh
No.
my good. Yeah, we had to
That's
stop
probably
it.
our best one yet.
That one was really good.
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
done now? Can I go?
No. No.
Sit back down.
Yep.
And usually, like, if you lose, you'd owe us a drink, but you
Done.
brought us a beverage.
Yes.
I did.
Speaking
I
of.
was kind of impressed that I pulled up to Jolton Joe's and asked for the Kobza, and they had one.
I know. I'm still waiting.
It's a real
for them.
thing.
It's
You
a
know, you
real
keep
thing.
thinking it's a hoax and that they'll throw something at you, but they actually hand you a drink.
I know.
I just don't understand it.
They said, "Don't you just want your iced tea?" I said, "Yes, I do, but I need these."
You need these too.
They are so
good.
amazing.
So good. And it's
Yeah.
like healthy.
Yeah, it's like $75 and it's good.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna do the other warm up like in the middle. So
So we're gonna chat for a while.
we're gonna
and then-
chat for a little bit.
When you said that Cal was driving the bus for you, I thought, did he hit rock bottom? I mean, the guy is so busy.
has nothing
He has
else
so
left
many
to do.
things. I thought, what happened?
Yeah.
What made you want to, like, how did that come about?
How did
This
I?
happened last year.
It happened a year ago, right? Well, I was having coffee with the boys, and J.O.'s dad, Bob Olson, was lamenting the fact that they could not find enough bus drivers. And one thing I have done in all my professions is I have driven like 1.9 trillion miles. And he said, as much as you like to drive, you should go talk to John. And I'm like, you know, I didn't probably need to go do it. And then I talked to my wife and she said, well, you know, it would actually be good if you started earning some money around here.
Oh boy. Yes.
So I called John and I had a CDL and I had to, of course, get the passenger endorsement and all that.
Which was before they changed all this stuff now.
I
You have to
just
take,
heard
like,
that.
an 8-week class now.
You
or-
know,
Oh,
to get the
God.
CDL.
Yeah, to get the CDL
You
with
know,
the passenger.
If I'd had to done that, you'd have probably been driving yourself. I
we would
probably
have been
wouldn't have
taking
been in there.
minivans.
So anyway, I did that, and I'm thinking, you know, a couple, 3 times a month, we'll make a little trip, watch a little volleyball, watch a little baseball, and then we got started. And by golly, there's quite a little stuff goes on at McCook Community College with activities buses. I'll tell you that for sure. So,
And vans.
and vans, yeah, we drive the van
Oh, okay.
with the golf team. The golf team has a split season, so we do a fall and we do a spring thing. And then when I'm not doing that, this time of year, the fall, then I'm usually driving the volleyball girls, which is, and those are both good gigs. I mean, I love them both. They're super. They are good. Very
So
good.
how many times a month are you doing? What did it end up being? What's the reality there?
Oh, he's not finished yet.
Yeah, no, thank
Yeah.
goodness. I would say, you know, sure enough, I'd say we sure average twice a week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, in the busy time. And then I also filled in, I think Tim Zender did like the local stuff around, took the leadership group.
Oh, okay.
And last year I did those too. And I haven't done any of that this year. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I scared them enough when we went in the ditch there coming back from North Platte. Maybe they're not going to have me do that again. I don't know. But, so yeah, but it's fun. I enjoy it. I mean, you get to, you know, go see a lot of sports, volleyball, and Coach Loop, the golf team, he lets me ride with him on the golf cart, so we ride all around. People call me Coach. I got to get a hat that says I am not the coach. So, but I enjoy it. I mean, it's just great being around the athletes. And
I've never like went on another sporting event, I guess, like
Yep.
with McCook, but I think golf would be really fun. And like from just like having you talk about it, it is like you have to drive to like Riverton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually the worst trip we ever had coming home from Riverton last spring.
Yeah, wasn't it like
Oh,
snowy or?
no, the wind was blowing
gosh.
literally
And they have like
70 mile an hour.
they have the toilet paper van. I call it like because it's like a Kleenex box with
Yes.
wheels, and then they have like the little trailer in the back. But yeah, Cal's stories on the golf trip because they get to do so much fun stuff, and then they.
I think he should actually get a hat that says head coach. And then when people come up to him, like the stuff that he would just throw off the cuff, they should be like, what in the world?
Yeah.
No, you don't want that.
Yes.
You do not want that.
I like it.
Yeah.
The golf thing is different because you literally get to be one-on-one with the athletes when they're actually competing. I mean, and that's just something.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
it's
that is so
different.
unique
Yeah.
about that.
That
you
would
know.
be. That really would be.
When you're on the golf course, the coach can actually go on the green and help them read a putt before they putt.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, they can do that, and yeah, so I mean, you're up close and personal.
Right.
But the other side of that, the downside of that is, you've got one player on hole number one,
Yeah.
and you've got one player literally 4,000 yards away on hole number 10.
Sure.
And you're trying to coach both. So there's a whole unique set of.
So Luke doesn't
circum-
ever like leave you with one, and he's just like, "Here's
You got this, Cal.
Here's a notepad. Tell him these things when this happens."
He actually left me with the whole team in Sterling last year.
Oh.
Yes, I was the coach that day.
Oh my goodness.
I was. Yes.
See,
Yeah.
he does need the hat.
You
Head
do
coach.
need a
Yeah. What was the situation around that?
He had to get back for something, and I don't even remember what it was. And he was there for the first day, and then I was there with them for the second day. Wow. And usually Nick Nothnagel, the assistant,
Yeah,
goes
right.
if he goes on the whole trip, but he for some reason couldn't. So, and interestingly enough, that was the first tournament that they won last year when I was there.
Coach Cal brought it home.
We got the texting back. Like, look at what I did.
Were you doing the text like to Rich Barnett, giving the quotes?
No, I did not
Coach
do
Cal
that.
Siegfried said this was
No.
a heck of a
He
day.
needs to go to coach's
Yes.
coffee club in the morning and just
Yes.
tell all about it.
It made me a firm believer that the coaching all gets done long before the tournament or long before the game. And that is just the culmination of that space of coaching right there. Because I
wow.
didn't do diddly squat.
Oh gosh.
I carry drinks and fill the coolers and drive. And that's it.
Cal does so good. And I didn't remember after his first trip with us, I was like talking on the phone with my mom. I was like, "Oh, we got another new bus driver," and I was like, "His name's Cal," and I was like, "He's a man," and she's like, "Oh, like just wants to drive girls around." I was like, "No, Mom, he's like Dad's age.
Yeah.
Like he's like."
I think I'm probably even older. I'm older than your dad. 'Cause I've known your
I was
dad
like,
a long
it'd
time.
be like if our dad was driving the bus.
Oh,
But-
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was my first trip to pick you up at your parents' house as we were
Yes.
on our way
Yep.
to Casper or
Yep.
to Cheyenne.
Yep.
And Coach Emerson was running the GPS that day,
Mm-hmm.
and we drove by the turnoff to go up to your folks'
Yeah.
place, and we had to turn around, and I pulled into this guy's driveway. It had rained,
Yeah.
and it was a new house, and it was soft, and I mean, we about got that freaking bus stuck
Oh my gosh,
big
I
time.
did not know that.
When we got up
Yeah.
to the coach's parents' house up to Schaefer's, that thing was covered in mud. And it's like, what in the world happened? It's like, well, it's just my first trip. I didn't know you're supposed to stay on the highway.
Yeah.
Had no clue.
Yeah, no idea.
There's no way. I have zero desire to drive a bus. Zero.
Yeah.
The stress of like all the people and country roads I've driven, like that situation there, just no thanks. I mean, you're not driving the country a lot, obviously, but still. God bless bus
I'd be
drivers.
okay with it, but
Really?
yeah, but like one thing I'm super happy like with at our school, like some of the schools that we compete against, they might only be a coach, but they also have to drive their bus, and there is no way like, well, Cal knows I sleep. I get on that bus, and I'm like, Cal, just wake us up when we get there.
Seriously, I don't know how they would do it because,
like
I mean, when you see the emotional stress, I mean, everything is. I mean, if you've done your job as a coach, I mean, you've left as much on the court
as the
or the
players have.
field
Yeah.
as the players have. And to get in and try to go somewhere and, driving back from Trinidad or Lamar, which I will also mention in case anybody was curious, the hill and tree removal project in eastern Colorado, down in southeastern Colorado, that is complete now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you helped
good.
out, did you?
Yeah, well, there's no hills, there's no trees, it's all gone. So
nothing.
it's just nice and flat for
Yeah.
8,000 miles.
Right, for real. That's what it feels like. That is the
It
longest
is,
trip.
It is a long trip.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay. Now I'm following. Got you.
But
Not a lot to look at now.
I can't imagine because I know what I feel like after, junior high.
oh, that's
in the
exhausting.
intensity of
Yeah.
that. But no, I seriously can't
And you have to
imagine.
drive home.
I do have to drive home.
Yeah.
Out to the suburbs.
Yeah.
Yes. So I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
Oh
can't.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
no. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some matches like there's no way I could drive somewhere and then I'd be nervous.
Just be responsible for your
Yeah,
people. It'd be one
for-
thing if you were just driving somewhere, but
Right.
yeah, you got all your, yeah.
Well, it's different because, I mean, I've hauled quite a little livestock in my life, and it's different when you're hauling somebody's kids.
Exactly.
And you see them all when you leave the match, and they're like, hey, be careful. Take care of our kids. Yeah, we do that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You just hope they don't find that bottle of scotch under the seat. They come looking for anything.
Well, and all of our bus drivers, they have like their own like quirks, I guess. Like, so Cal won't eat because he's like, if I eat, I'll get tired, So like and I'm like, okay, are you sure? Like, then I get nervous. I'm like, you're not going to go hungry?
Just doing the cobes of fast. That's
Look
what
at
you
me.
mean.
Yeah.
Goes so fast. Yeah.
Look like I'm starving? No,
gosh.
I'm not starving.
But there is usually, unfortunately, an event that happens with an athletic team, where something tragic does happen. So I can imagine when you see some of the parents there and you're loading up, you do kind of take a little moment to be just
yeah.
like, got to
Oh.
be with us on this.
I'm
And
not going to lie to you. We pray every time when we get on and every time when we get off.
Do
every
you?
time. Oh,
Good,
absolutely.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't doing this alone.
And amen.
And I don't know. And bus drivers, they do more than just drive the bus too, though. Like Cal, like he does everything, and he's good. Like you send them. All of our bus drivers are great, but like Cal's like, could you send me the location? So he does the location. He gets us there, point A to point B. He knows food options already since he's probably like done these trips a few times now. But yeah, they do a whole lot more than just drive the bus.
Well, I think there's a level of comfort when you are a bus of young ladies to have Cal there. I mean, I think,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think that when we're walking over to Mass and there's a couple volunteers, just some men that are outside, just a kind of sense of feeling safe. And I think Cal's presence, his voice alone can scare him off,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about the time that third grader whipped me over a tricycle. But, other than that, we're good.
Yeah, Cal last year. So one of the memories my players were talking about like most memorable things from last year, and on the way home because did you take us out to regionals? I'm trying to remember.
No, I did not.
Yeah, no, it was the last trip on the way home, and we're going down J Street. Is it J Street? I don't remember.
Yeah.
And Cal gets on the loudspeaker, and he just gives the best like year-end season speech from Fat Daddy's bus driver, and
Daddy Sports Excursion.
yeah,
That's us.
and I mean there were girls crying like on the back of the bus. He had such good meaningful words to say, and like you just become so close with the people that have to get you from point A to point B.
Well, that was better than this year's J Street happening because when I was bringing the golf team back from Sterling, I ran over a kid's soccer ball in the street.
Oh gosh, I was like waiting for
As long as it was just a soccer
Well,
ball. Yeah.
that was the thing. The kid was running, and I was watching him, and I didn't see. I mean, I wasn't worried about the ball, but yeah,
Right.
we smacked it, and he just went boom.
Oh my gosh.
I thought, geez. So I had to go get him a freaking soccer ball and took it back a couple days later, and his mom says, "Well, that was really better because she said I have two kids, and now when you ran over the ball, it split in half. So they just been wearing it around each one of them as a hat. So they really didn't need it, but thanks anyway. So they took the ball.
Of course they did.
ball.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh man. So Cal, you were a dad too, right?
Yeah.
Your kids, ages, where they live, what
They're
do they
1,000 years old almost.
do? Oh boy.
Not quite that old. They all live here, actually, in McCook. Ben is the oldest, and Ben will be 46. He works for a animal health pharmaceutical company, kind of a regional guy. My middle son is Cody. He's 2 years younger. He's an attorney here in town. And then my youngest is Adam, and he has a restaurant here in town, the Copper Mill, one here and then one in Kearney, and he does a couple other things. So
Adam will charge you for that plug.
Oh, yeah, he will. I used to get free drinks from the guy that owned the Copper Mill, but not anymore. But I was incredibly fortunate, and you guys will understand this where you work with young people all the time, but all of my boys, every single one of them, traveled literally all over the world. I mean, literally. And I mean the world. Ben traveled all over the United States, as did Cody, as a lot of livestock judging team. And those kids are never around. I mean, they literally do a semester, and then most of it's in a van. Right. I mean, it literally is. And so he literally saw the United States. Cody actually did an internship at the U.S. Embassy in Rome. Oh, wow. And Adam did a lot of stuff on the sports and service industry, went to Alaska, and every single one of them saw all that, and yet they all came back here and decided this is where they wanted to be.
Yeah.
So that tells you a little bit about the community and the people that are here and the opportunities. If you
for sure.
have got the work ethic and have a vision and something you want to do and a place to raise a family, because they saw a lot of stuff, and this is where they wanted to be. So I think that is a testament to the area a lot.
Some of like my best conversations with Cal have been with the community. Like, you have lots of good ideas, and like, I think this last week we were talking about partnerships and stuff that like we, just the college alone could be better at. And are you going to ever run for mayor? Or?
Trust me, I am not electable.
But he has such good thoughts, though, which is so true.
I'm sure there's a background check.
Oh,
just
yeah.
that alone
that
kicks him out.
Yeah, that is no lie.
Father of 3 boys. No.
No, I am not electable.
Yeah. But I'm the same way. I think McCook it's great. I love McCook, and we always try to. On a bus trip, I was like, I just want some place that could just feed like all these teams, and lo and behold, I had Adam, come up for a tournament and make food. So thanks, Adam.
Well, actually, I had a conversation this morning with Molly and Coach Emerson and I and her. Some of that stuff we talked about the other night.
Yeah,
so we kind of got the ball rolling on that this morning. We'll keep our fingers crossed that something
Cal's really
comes out of
good at like the McCook and just like thinking of more things.
Well, it's awesome sometimes when you step outside of your group, your network,
right.
And when you have a conversation with someone else, you realize like, oh my gosh, it's best when we get outside of our own circle, because you don't realize all the other things that people can think of that you haven't even went there.
Right.
You
exactly.
know?
Well, and I'm good at thinking of stuff, but I really don't like to work. I really don't want to do it.
Yeah, sure.
So I want somebody, if I give them the idea and they go do it, I'm good.
Let's do it.
I'm good.
That's what Andy Long and I always said when we were together. Like, he was like, I'm the idea man, you were the workhorse. And so I was like, okay, we can do that. Because sometimes it is the person. I'm not the idea person. I can definitely implement something and make it happen, but like, I don't have that creative thinking that others often have. So it's like, hey, when you know your strength, go for it.
That's
and
what
share.
you go to.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I miss our days. We used to office close to each other.
Yes, we did. In the good old days. We were both in the Keystone.
Aww.
And we were both on the Economic Development Board.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
I did not realize you were that young.
I know. Yep.
She's that young, I'm that old. So there you go.
But we
Whatever.
went to Otero this weekend, and we went to this cute little froyo ice cream shop, and we noticed like they partner with their college, and then that just got like all of our brain spinning, Cal's especially.
What do you mean partner? What does that mean exactly?
They had a college night where college students could come in. Now, and I'll say this rather than say it all twice. They had a college night, and then they had an Otero Public Schools night, and they did the same thing. They could play cornhole, darts, board games, got discounts on, they had served sandwiches there too. So you could have a little light supper, you could eat frozen yogurt, and then all the proceeds went either to the college that night or back to the public schools.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
And that was a great place, by the way.
It was
SoCo
so good.
Froyo is what it was called,
I
right?
don't even remember what it was called.
SoCo Froyo.
It was really fun though. Cute little vibe.
And then they,
amazing.
the kids came in with their student IDs. They got a 10% discount or something. So, which, I mean, it raised the awareness of the college. And I guarantee you, when you're sitting in McCook, Nebraska, and you've got the first junior college ever in the state, you really should raise your awareness, and you should make
partner.
people know that. That's exactly right. You should.
Yep. And that's, I think, like Lena and I, we talk about that all the time. Like, that's one thing that I try to do within my program is like to make sure that like we're giving back to the community. The community knows that, that we're here to do whatever help, and, hopefully then we can give back somehow.
And you do.
Both ways. So
You do.
Thank you, Kat.
I am incredibly impressed at the way what your team thinks of you and the way you guys all mesh.
Start crying. Thanks, Cal.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
You don't see that. I mean, I was never an athlete of any sort. I just wasn't, and it's good to see some of the old values and hard work and kind of get you into a 20, 21, 22 game winning season
Yes,
too.
that's
So,
right. Woo.
you know, so
Had to get there somehow, though. Somebody
but
had to drive that bus.
it's great, and I don't think people. Here I'm starting my own topic, but I was laying in bed last night for like 2 hours thinking, what am I going to talk about today? But I don't think people realize, if you've never been an athlete, the incredible amount of pressure. They talk about, you know, you getting tired or it's a grind. I don't think people realize that that's a real thing. I mean, it is a real thing. And when you're asking these young men and women, these young athletes that come, I mean, in my past year, I've met athletes from South Africa, Spain, Brazil, Italy, Canada. They come from all over and from far-flung corners of the United States. These are 17, 18, 19-year-old kids that don't see their families for freaking 6 or 8 months at a time. And they work their tails off. I mean, it's fun to play sports, but when you've got to do it like you guys do it, I keeping those kids fresh. And it didn't really even dawn on me until I took the golf team. We went down to a pre-national tournament in Newton, Kansas 3 weeks ago. Those guys on Monday played 18 holes of golf. On Tuesday, as a warm-up deal.
And now we know
my
what 18
gosh.
holes is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't have golf carts.
They don't. They have to walk it.
Nope.
The next day, they had to play 2 rounds, 36 holes of competitive golf. The third day, they had to play a third round of competitive golf. We got done. They got done. We got in the van. We drove 6 hours to La Junta. The next day, they played another competitive round of golf, and then on Friday, they played another competitive round of golf, and then we got back in that van and drove 6 hours back to McCook. And these guys were absolutely wiped. I mean, and a classic, your volleyball girls. I mean, they 2 huge games this weekend, or this past week, and sat in that freaking bus for 6 hours at a pop. It is a grind. God, you know, good on you, keeping everybody going. I don't know how they do it.
And then their coach makes them climb a mountain and.
Oh my gosh, when I saw that, I was like, sweet mother of pearl. Shouldn't we be like giving each other like massages or
They complained
like
the whole way up.
I really
As
thought
I
probably
would have
we'd
too.
be Picking Coach Cobes up at the, down at the bottom of the mountain.
Oh boy.
Where they had like pitched her over the edge.
Yeah. Oh, they wanted to. They all wanted to.
I would have been right there with them. I mean, what Cal just said, 100%.
Oh.
And what people miss is they're student athletes.
Yeah.
So not all the physical demands that they've done, but then like intellectually, all the stuff that they have to do. And you have very high expectations of them. I mean, when we had girls living with us, when my girls would have to watch them do 3 hours of homework, after they've maybe had 2 hours of practice or they've had 4 games in a row, it's like that is a full-time gig. And it's such a small, what they say, less than 7% go on to play collegiate sports. There's a reason.
There's a reason.
There is 100% reason. And when you say those kids that don't get to go home,
That's mentally exhausting in
oh
itself.
my goodness. Yes.
Trying to remember the night here. It was Thursday night. You guys got done playing. You came back to the hotel. We're sitting out in the hotel lobby, getting ready to eat, and here comes, McKenna, and she had a lab due on Monday, so she had just got done playing an incredible volleyball game, and then she's sitting there eating a sandwich at the same time she's doing homework. I'm like, this is incredible to me.
Yeah.
And they're young adults.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they're not, midlife, like going through life. Like they are starting out, putting in so much energy, time, commitment into something that hopefully sets them up for success in the future. But it is exhausting.
It's a lot.
It's amazing more of them don't burn out, or that you don't lose athletes to injury or just not being able to do it.
I think one thing you said there, and I see this with your group, and I don't know that I see it in some of these D1 schools, but at MCC, as I think I can say this with all the sports that I've taken, they do treat each other. You always say you're a family, and I really do believe they play for each other and for the school and for their families, and not to just get me to the next level, to heck with everybody else. And I really believe that is a huge, huge selling point of if you have a student that's an athlete in high school and you're thinking about, the next step, where do you go? I would find myself a place just like this to learn that and set that base. That's what I would do.
I completely agree.
And then you're set up for success because in this day and age where it's just me, and you don't see that around here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a credit to all the coaches at MCC, every one of them.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like you see us, all the teams and athletes individually, like as a sport, then you put them all in one living area the same, and they're all the same way. Like everybody, that everyone supports each other, and it really is like.
It's better than family because I couldn't spend that much time with my family.
There are some.
No freaking way could I do that. Or maybe it's the other way around. They can't spend that much.
That might be.
That's
There we go.
what it
Now,
is.
ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I don't know. With volleyball, it's like there'll be like, halfway through the season, you're like, I need a break from them. And that just like 24 hours is enough. And then it's like, I need them back because you just miss them so much. But it's a
family.
grind. It is.
It is.
And this next week, I know you just talking about how much they have to do. Like, we're gone for 5 days next week. So I'm like, when I was sending out the next 2 weeks, the schedule, and I'm like, Hannah, gosh, I feel like this is so much. And she's like, well, they got to do it. It's going to be fine because they got to make sure that they're caught up on their work before we leave. So like, this is the week they need to get their labs done and, making sure that they're communicating with their teachers. But yeah. And then Cal's he gets to drive us on our last hoorah. Hopefully not our last hoorah.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's not either.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
We're counting on it not.
Or now, exactly.
But I
There we
can't
go.
take you on the nationals because I got to take the basketball team to Iowa.
Oh,
Unless
boy.
you can.
Okay.
Unless you
we
can pull
talk.
some strings.
Yeah, we can pull some strings. I know a few people.
I heard the JO podcast, and he says, I've never turned you down on anything. I
That's-
heard him say that.
Oh, there you go.
That's very true. Besides today, he called me and he made some comment, and I was like, were you reprimanding me right there? I don't know what just happened. He's like, it's a 50-50. And I'm like, so 50% you're angry, 50% a joke? I'm so confused.
Because he said, when have I not got you what you wanted?
I know, that's
When
true.
have I not? So there you go.
See,
Ask now.
He's such a great guy because, see,
He
he
is.
and my oldest son were like good buds all
really?
through high school. Yeah. So, yeah, he's a good guy.
His
You
dad
know.
needs to drive a bus. I think his dad would be a fun bus driver.
Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he just doesn't. I mean, his wife probably didn't tell him to go make money, so he doesn't have to go. So I don't
Hanging
know.
out, enjoying the
But
good
no,
life.
he's a great guy too, Bob. I mean,
So-
like I said, it's his fault that I'm doing this, so you can blame him.
I,
but
okay.
things go
So what
to
else
pot.
do you dip your toes in besides driving the bus?
What else do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I'm semi-retired. I've been that way since I've been about like 23. But we still work on some projects. We own a little deal up in Eustis, and we're in the process of putting a meat processing deal in up there. We had one up there, and we leased our building to the Village Pie Maker, and then they jumped up and bailed
that's
out.
right.
So
Where did they go to?
they went to Omaha.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, and then we're working on a couple other projects that, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's what I do. I mean, it's nothing, it's may or may not happen, but it's something
Lots
to
of
kind of
things.
keep you busy. And and then I do the radio stuff, but I've never really been able to hold a job. I've had like 87 jobs in my whole freaking life. So
The background checks again. That's what
well,
happened.
I've
That's
ne-
what happens.
and I've never had to fill out a resume. If I ever had to do that, I would be so screwed because I have never filled out a
Nobody's like,
resume in my life.
Cal, you've had a lot of jobs here.
Yeah,
what's
why-
usually that's a red flag.
Yeah,
you
is
know?
it-
I know,
Flag,
and it
yeah.
kind of is.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it kind of is. But I went through a period in my life, and they were always different steps, but it was exactly 4 years to the day on 3 different jobs that somebody called me and wanted me to go to work for them or to interview for a job, and then exactly 4 years to the day that I started with them. That happened 3 different times.
Oh my
Bing,
gosh.
bing, bing.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It was.
That's
I mean, it was
amazing.
like it was always the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It was just
What?
crazy. You just kind of got to thinking, well, what's going to happen today? And it happened. Yeah, happened 3 different times.
So speaking of your other gig, this is another fun warm up that we're going to do. Okay, so you also do some commercials for the radio, right?
Right.
So today, off of the top of your little head,
Oh,
you're
this
going
is
to give
gonna be
us
good.
you're going to give us a commercial.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. And you are selling. The college MCC needs more bus drivers,
Okay.
and you are doing a ad basically on the radio. It's like a I
How
don't
long
know.
do you want this? A 30-second ad?
Yeah, 30-second ad.
Okay.
Look
Okay.
how
Oh
knowledgeable
my
he
gosh!
is. I didn't even realize that was a thing.
Oh, he's going. Okay, here we
Okay,
go.
30. All right. Let me see.
Oh,
All right.
look at.
I know.
You got to get the time right. If you're looking for excitement and fun, and I'm talking about more fun than going down the candy aisle with Rosie O'Donnell, you need to visit with Ryan Purdy and the folks at McCook Community College about activities bus driving. If you absolutely do not want to die alone, think about becoming a bus driver for McCook Community College. You get to do all kinds of fun things like get on a bus at 10 o'clock at night, drive 6 hours back home while everybody behind you is snoring like a frickin' hibernating grizzly bear. But the enjoyment, the fulfillment, and the great Carl's Jr.'s hamburgers make it all worthwhile. Call MCC at 888-444-7711.
Oh my gosh.
How was that?
Off the
That was
cuff.
so good.
That's amazing.
That was
See, I was actually going to pull one of these up that I had written, and then you switched it up on me. So
That was so good.
Who can do that?
I could not do that.
No.
That
one was 2 seconds too long though. Too,
that was
so
really
I
good.
wouldn't have put the.
Oh
How
my
did you
gosh.
even get okay, so that was perfection, but how did they be like, hey Cal, could you do some radio ads for us?
Yes, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that.
How do I do that?
No,
Like,
how
not
did you
how
start? How did
doing
this
that?
become-
Was somebody like, you have a beautiful booming voice?
Okay.
Or you have a
This
face
is-
for
this
radio.
Is kind of crazy.
What happened
All right. When I was when I started school, I started here in McCook. All right, and we went. We lived 11 miles south of town, right on Highway 83. Okay, so we were out in the country, and they bused us to town, and we went here from K through 3, and then 4 through 8. I went to Marion grade school. So I was clear out of McCook. Didn't get to town literally in the summer, maybe twice. Came to town, and of course everybody in town, all the town kids, and looking at us like, here come the rubes from the country again. There they come. We had to frickin' take a test at the courthouse in 8th grade to prove that we were academically skilled enough to get into McCook Public Schools. And that's a God's honest truth. We had to go
what?
set in.
Goodness.
Asa Wolf was the county supervisor. We had to set in Asa Wolf's office. All us kids, District 4, which is where I was, District 8, District 31, District 41. We all had to come together and do this. Okay. So we're a little backwards. We're not very social. Really, some things I never got over. I'm still really not socially adept. But anyway, we had to do that. And then, all right, here we come to high school. And I mean, scared to death. I mean, panic. Don't know hardly anybody. Nobody wants to talk to you because you're the kid in the cowboy boots and the freaking wide belt and the short curly hair. So we had to do an introductory speech in speech class. Mike Manker was my speech teacher. And so I got up and gave this introductory speech about who I was and what I did. And as quick as I got done, Mike said to me, I want to see you after school. And I thought, oh my God, what did I do? I mean, this was like third period, and I'm like, what a freaking day. So the end of school comes, and I meander down there, and he said, all right, I want you to come with me. I'm taking you down to the radio station and let you read. And I said, I didn't even know what he was talking about.
No way.
So we walked in
my
to
gosh.
KICX radio, and at that time it was above what was the First National Bank building, which is the Mosel, Garner, Schneider, Mustian law firm. now.
Okay, got you.
Right
Yep.
down here at the corner of
Right by popping on the bricks.
Yeah,
Okay,
C
okay.
Street and North Avenue. It's up on the second floor. And I walked in there, and again, I knew nothing. Just come off the frickin' tractor and the horse, and I was like, oh my God, what am I even doing here? And they walked in, and they had the old teletype, chunk, 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 chunk. He ripped off a piece of paper, handed it to me, and said, go in there and sit in front of one of these microphones and read this. And I did. And he said, okay. He said, now come on, we're going. So we walked out and turned the corner, and they had a secretary that was about 26 years old. And this was in the days when you could make 2 mini skirts out of a pair of mittens. And she was an incredibly attractive. I thought, I want to be in the freaking radio business. I had been on the farm long enough. It was time for this boy to go to town.
Gosh.
So they offered me a job as a disc jockey
What?
at $1.60 an hour.
Woo.
Right then.
Big time.
Right
But
then,
you would have
right
been like
then.
a freshman without, what
I was
grade?
15.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
that is
15.
so crazy.
And
Been in it since.
I've never heard
well,
this story.
me
Never heard.
sort of was, but I, between, because I didn't play. I mean, I played a little bit of football in junior high, busted an ankle, didn't do it anymore. Wrestled, but I didn't do a lot of sports. Showed a lot of cattle, traveled that way. But I mean, if I wasn't at school, I was on the frickin' radio. I mean, that's just what they did to you. I mean, we signed on at 6 a.m. and signed off at sunset, which would be anywhere from 5:45 to 9:15, depending on the time of year.
Oh my goodness!
And they would put you up there for 6-7 hours at a time, and which was fun. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it, and I had a lot of friends that would give me an incredible amount of grief. We had a studio with a plate glass window between us and what we called the newsroom. And on weekends, my buddies would come in there, and this was back in the day when people passed. You always read the funeral notices and obituaries on the radio. I mean, that was just something you did every day. And so I'd get in the middle of those, and my buddies would go in the room across from me, and they would drop trout and put a couple of pressed hams up against that glass. And I'm trying to read about Maribeth Miller that had passed away on Friday, and I'm looking at these 2 pressed hams right in front of me, and I'm like, it's a little hard to hold your concentration when that's going on. But we made it through that, and then a guy by the name of Jerry Venable that had been with KFRM Radio down in Salina and in Cloud County, Kansas, he started KFNF over in Oberlin, which KICX Group now owns that. And so he hired me as their farm news director. And so I did a 6 o'clock thing in the morning with Jerry Venable. And we were, believe it or not, and I hesitate to tell these stories because this isn't about me, but we did a show that everybody does now that nobody was doing back in the late 70s. There was 3 of us on the air in the morning. Nobody did that back then. Nobody. And there was only 2 people in there. Jerry Venable played himself and a guy he called the old timer. And he would have conversations with 2 people, but it was one person. But he would switch from himself to the old timer, and he would answer himself.
So like you guys had like a talk show, basically.
It's just like all 3 of us sitting here now, only there would just be one of you, and you'd be doing
Oh my gosh!
Coach's part, your part, and I'd be doing my part. And it was incredibly, incredibly successful. We had a great time with it. Everybody loved it. And then we did these shows all over the country, did a radio road show with music and comedy, and it was just crazy. We traveled all over and did that for 4 years, and then I went to work at the bank here in McCook. So
And he wonders why we wanted to talk with him. Why we wanted him here.
Nobody.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah. That is true. I am.
That
was not me. That was all them. But it was just a lot of fun.
That's so crazy.
But you would literally get home. I mean, it was just during the fair season. We were doing these shows. We went to Springfield, Colorado, which is even further away than freaking La Junta and Trinidad. And we did these road shows during the fairs, and then you had to be at the station at 6 in the morning, and sometimes we wouldn't roll in until 4:30 in the morning. And I remember leaving. I was also the sales manager at that time, and I had a meeting in Colby, and I finished the noon markets, and I had an El Camino, and I jumped in that, and I was headed to Colby. I had to be at Colby till 1:30, and I pulled into the roadside rest area at Selden, and I was so freaking tired, and I thought, okay, I got a full hour. I got 30 minutes to drive. I'm just going to take a little power nap. Boom, bada bing, be on my road. No cell phones, nothing like that.
Right.
I sat down, put my head back on the seat of that El Camino. It was like 12:30. This was July or August. When I woke up, it was pitch dark out. I had sat there until a little after 10. I had been there for 9 freaking hours.
My
I
goodness.
couldn't even pull my head up off of the headrest. I literally had to just do this to pull my head up. I guess that must have been the end of the wick right there.
Yeah.
And of course, nobody knew where I was, and there was no phones.
Yeah.
And it was like nobody really cared where I was, but nobody knew, and it was. But anyway, so that was radio. That was just.
Yeah, you think about times now, like you go missing for 2 hours, people panic.
Oh, yeah.
But back then it was like, we'll give him till.
It's been 4 days. He's
panicked
probably
on some
okay.
people, but
They'll come
nobody
back.
really cared where I was. As long as I showed up for my shift the next morning, they were probably
They were
fine.
ready to go.
So there you go.
Oh, goodness.
Incredible.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. And then after that, Kenny Spencer owned, at that time, Southwest Implement, which was the John Deere dealership before Perry Case bought it as Southwest Implement, and then before it became Acresville thing. And he said, would you like to do our radio commercials for us? And I said, well, I could sure do that. So I started doing them for Southwest Implement. And then another one came on, and another one came on, and another one came on. And so, yeah, we built that up. I mean, just by the grace of God, and people now we're yeah, I still do that for times of the year, like up to a dozen people.
Oh,
and
wow.
in fact,
Wow.
these ones I'm going to cut when we're done today. This is, I guess I show where my true loyalty is. If it's in the cash, but we're on the K-State Football Network and the K-State Basketball Network and the Texas Tech Football and Basketball Network and Nebraska Land Tire, which we have one
Right.
obviously here, and they go all over this Midwest, and so I've done a lot of stuff for them, the Front Range of Colorado, and that's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun.
I need your autograph after this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
write.
This is your bus driver.
I know. Wait till
The
I
legend.
tell all the girls this.
No, you
Yeah.
don't need to tell
He's
anybody
famous.
this. It's no, I'm not.
Oh, well,
famous.
everybody's going to hear it.
Yes.
Everyone listens
Everyone
to this
is going to
podcast.
hear it. Yes.
Everybody. I mean,
Yes.
people are asking Lena and I to do commercials, but we just don't have the time.
Nope.
It only takes 30 seconds.
Okay. Awkward.
Yeah. or the system's not working.
There we
That's
go.
usually how
That's
it
what's
goes.
wrong. Yeah.
it's
And
usually
we have
the
a few
microphone.
retakes. We don't just
Yeah.
like bust it off the cuff
Right,
like he did.
exactly.
Well, that's
Jeez.
what you do here all the time.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's
I've
true.
listened to. I haven't listened to all of them, but most of your podcasts, and you guys are great. You just do it.
Oh, and he
Just-
was listening to our podcast when he was driving the bus, too.
I was.
Aw.
I got caught up.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
did. I
And you-
ran out. I mean, I got to the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah, so, and this will
When
be
you-
tomorrow morning.
When you two guys, and then the Thatchers, and
Yeah.
those are the
Yeah.
last two.
Yeah.
Cobes and Coble.
Cobes and Coble. Yep.
That's right.
That was a good
I
one.
mean, I don't have a drink, but, it's
We'll
fine.
get there one day.
You have a drink. You're carrying a
Well-
5-gallon bucket with you. You're drinking out
Yeah.
of for crying
It
out
do,
loud.
you don't have to order it, and it doesn't cost
I have-
$75.
I
And
have never seen a 5-gallon bucket with a nipple on it like that. That's incredible.
Bucket calves.
I was going to say something. We're just going to,
Oh, we're just going to move
Yeah,
on?
we're gonna-
bucket cans aren't
yeah.
near that big.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more
it's
of a smaller.
It's a way bigger jug.
All right, so we got to that part of the podcast where we do a little bit of Lena Says. This is that fun game where, Lena is probably the wisest one in this room. So if you
not
have
after
any-
today.
I
Yeah,
know.
she definitely is.
Maybe we should add. It could be Cal Says.
No, Cal
Siegfried
does not
says.
say.
So if there's anything that you need to get off your chest, you just need some really good input. Lena's your gal.
Really?
Lena is your gal.
Okay.
Life advice.
Do you need any?
Yeah.
Do you need a-
Yeah.
Example?
I do. No. I
Oh,
know
he's
exactly-
listened.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good
I know
point.
exactly what I
Stop
want you
drinking.
to tell me
He's
why
ready to go.
things are, because I'm just of the generation. The way that people do business anymore or don't do business and totally ignore you when you try to get a hold of somebody and you want to do business with them.
Have you been talking to Clay?
Well, I haven't, but I mean, it used to be a professional courtesy when somebody tried to get a hold of you, you got back in touch with them. Anymore, It's like they don't call, they don't text, they don't email. If they don't want to talk to you, they just blow you off, and that's it. Why is that anymore? We have got more ways to communicate, and we probably communicate less than any time in my entire life. So explain that to me, Lena Says.
Oh, that is a really good one.
Could you?
Yeah. I like my example would be when we were in the times of needing a babysitter. You didn't call a babysitter because they didn't answer their phone. You had to text them. And then maybe 3 or 4 days later, they would get back to you. The time passed that you needed them. And that was my first experience of there's a generation that no longer seeks to meet the needs of others. Their needs come first. You know what I mean? Like they are not out to, help you out or meet, be there for you. It's really about them. And I don't mean that throwing everybody under the same umbrella, because I think there are those few people out there. But we aren't a social, network engaged family at our house. My girls don't get a lot of TV. They don't have any tablets. They don't have any technology, because I'm hoping to change that just with my own family.
Well, you live in Culbertson, too.
Yeah, the suburbs. Okay.
And
You-
there's no
you-
cell phone service out there.
Yeah.
Only way to go talk to the Cobles is to drive out there.
I gotta walk across the.
And that's not a bad thing.
But I mean, I don't know what's happened. But for my girls, right now, I'm telling them, we have to take care of grandma and grandpa. They're getting older, things are happening. You're doing that because that's what we should do as people take care of others. It's not about what you're going to get from it or, grandma and grandpa are going to do something for you. This is how we take care of each other. And so that's more what I'm instilling them, because it's that whole contact thing. Hopefully that's gone by the time my girls are up there, but I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Well, and just I think and also on Cal's deal, service. Let's say it's not even family related; it's business related.
Yes, and that's what he was talking.
Yeah,
I went through it.
yeah. And
Oh,
it's
that
just
experience is awful.
it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating, and it's
Well, and it becomes the excuse of we're short staffed or this is happening or that. Like there's no more taking care of your customer, taking care of, going back, taking care of others, because this is what we have going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's a big order. It's really late at night. We're short staffed. There isn't the going out and exchange. Like I even said, just simply making a phone call for you to find somebody else who could service you. Or like I said, split the orders with 3 different restaurants. Say, oh, you know what? I'm going to make a couple calls for you. And I worked in the service industry for over 10 years. And there was never a situation where you didn't take care of the customer. Yeah,
Well, if I hear one more time, because of COVID, if I hear that one more time,
my
I'm going to go
gosh.
stand on the freaking railroad tracks down
Yes.
here.
Well, don't say that.
That's
'cause
everybody's
you-
excuse.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
cut it anymore.
That's-
But
Yeah.
anyway, okay. Well, see, Lena says she does know.
She does know. She's pretty smart.
She is
Thank you.
freaking amazing is
Well,
what she is.
Hey, Jake, did you hear that? Oh, kids, did you hear that?
Okay, so Cal, to end it, what is your caffeine of choice?
My caffeine of choice, I drink quite a bit of iced tea and coffee. I don't get into all the frappes, lattes. I don't do that.
No?
No.
A good iced tea goes a mile.
A good...
A good iced tea. Brewed iced tea.
Yeah.
And that right there is brewed iced
Yes,
tea. That's
that
good
I
stuff.
could take a brewed iced tea any day of the week.
Yeah.
I could do a good iced tea.
Yeah.
My mom makes this, mint tea.
That sounds nice.
It's actually really good. It's really good. I'll have to bring you a cup
Yeah.
one day.
Thanks,
Except when
Mom.
you're down in the South and you order an iced tea and they bring it with like 8 pounds of sugar. in it.
Oh, when I lived in New York, I did start drinking a little sweet tea. So I do, even now, I'll like one Splenda or one. But yeah, it usually was literally almost half sugar. I don't even want to know how much was in it. Yeah. So I did start that for a little bit. I've slowly weaned
Not a
off.
fan.
Oh, when we ate at Taco Bell this week, speaking of how much food was in it for volleyball, and one of the girls, there was only 8 of us because some of the girls went out to eat with their family, and I was like, you guys have $10, get whatever you want at Taco Bell. That's the whole menu.
Yeah.
And one of the girls was like, ooh, I wonder how many calories I actually ate. And then she's looking it up.
Oh, no.
It was 1,500 calories.
Oh.
And see, for me, that's just breakfast.
Oh my God.
No.
All right. Are you reading or watching anything right now?
I read a lot in the winter, but not so much in the summer. Been watching, not so much. I mean,
Nothing you can say.
Yeah.
well,
this way.
not even that, but court order and all. But
I could see him being a
I'm
Yellowstone.
lazy. I sleep a
Yellowstone.
lot.
Yeah.
You get to be my age, you sleep a lot. You do.
Oh, mine
Anytime.
started early.
I feel
Nothing wrong
I
with some
sleep
good
a lot.
sleep. Yeah.
I get on that bus and I'm
I don't know how you guys sleep on that because those are the most uncomfortable seats I've ever seen in my ever freaking
well, if
life.
you ever look back there, I make the girls pack the cooler. So the cooler gives me an extra 2 feet so I can split.
Oh, that's what you do.
And then I've ordered a 12-pound weighted blanket. So I just...
Oh,
I
mother.
honestly don't think it's fair. Those seats are not
They are
comfortable.
horrible.
Do they not recline
and
at
then
all or
the
anything?
new is that the newest bus that we have? There's this handle to pull the seats back right in the middle of the seats, and it's it sticks up there so it'll get you in the rib cage, and
That's nice.
It's not. That's just not cool. I don't know why they. I don't.
and I don't know why they have it separated. It should just be one piece.
I'd have a lazy boy for everybody.
Yeah,
One on each side.
exactly. That's how it should.
That's
be.
what I do.
Yeah. Call Ryan Purdy at.
Exactly.
Yeah. What was our other question?
Usually say quote, but he said he
yeah.
didn't have one. Remember?
No,
don't
I
have a
didn't.
quote?
I do too.
Oh, you did?
I've got
He has
two.
one?
Oh my
okay.
gosh!
All right.
right.
Leave us with a
Jeez.
quote.
And I use these all the time.
Oh gosh,
I apologize.
you wrote it down.
Okay.
And I don't even know where this one came from.
Okay.
The one I knew where it came from.
Okay.
But around our place, the way things is always such a freaking disaster. It's blessed be the flexible, for they never get bent out of shape. That's
Like
quote
it.
number one.
That's good.
And the other one is the Benjamin Franklin thing. I think he's the one that said that. That said, "Well done is much better than well said."
Oh. Mic drop.
That was really good.
I like that.
That was great.
I wish I could have thought of that one.
That
was
is
really
good.
Yeah, it is pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Wow, Cal. Well, thank you so much for this hour of knowledge.
No kidding. It's about
And-
time.
Yeah.
I'm glad
It's
you.
about
I'm
time.
glad your husband roped him down the street and drug him in here
yeah,
for
got,
us.
Yeah, got him finally in here.
Yeah.
You guys cover more topics. I have just been very impressed with what you've come up
Oh,
with.
thanks,
I mean,
Cal.
seriously.
And you promise you'll be at our next show?
Yes.
Well, unless I'm
Wait, so you're saying that
Driving
we need
the
to,
bus.
You're saying
I
we need
mean,
to put it on the
you know.
calendar stat.
Yeah.
Let you know.
We do need to do that. Yeah.
my calendar gets filled up pretty fast. I
Right.
mean, and because the last time I was on a
Right.
golf trip when you
Oh
did
yeah,
that.
I forgot about that. Mhm.
Yeah. So my weekends, I don't have much.
You know, and I forgot our last thing is on YouTube. I need to share it.
What?
I know people could actually watch
Our event?
our whole event. I
Oh,
recorded it and I uploaded it a long time ago, and then I forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to
Oh, gosh.
spread that for the world. Send it
okay.
to Cal.
So who's coming in to interview you guys? I remember somebody. Was it
Oh,
Holtis,
gosh.
Holly, and Holtis, right?
Holtis and Cherry.
Holtis
Cherry.
and Cherry.
Ugh.
But
No,
they
that
need,
needs to happen.
but they need time to prepare.
Well, I don't know, but maybe. But I mean, you guys, yeah, because people need to know your background. They do.
We passed our background checks, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
You don't need a background check to work in this building.
No, that's for dang sure. Guarantee you that.
That guy he's like running for something, right?
Charlie?
Charlie?
Oh, yeah. School board.
School board.
Vote for Charlie.
Okay, time out. Were you guys at the parade? Were you at the parade?
Yep.
I was at the parade.
Okay. Did anybody else think that was Charlie riding on the back? So they had the vote for Charlie. And
I did.
And then there a guy in the moped with the
With
scary
mask?
face.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my god, that's a horrible
That wasn't him?
No! I know. I was like, there's better ways to get votes, Charlie.
I know.
That's
I was
not
like,
the way
that
to
is
do
not
it.
the way to do it. And
No,
even
I did too.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah, and he was like, no, that wasn't Charlie. I was like, well, what was with the scary guy behind the truck? Like, I'm super concerned.
So that's kind of crazy. And that really is crazy because I thought that was the favorite parade I've ever been at in my entire life because the beef guys threw out the frickin' tenderloin beef sandwiches.
Yes.
We
That
didn't get
parade,
those at our
you
end.
didn't?
No.
Oh, my girls
Everyone was talking
inhaled
about the
it.
sandwiches. I'm like, we didn't get that at the Wagner
yeah.
place.
Oh,
Well-
yeah. I told you not to sit there.
Well,
They ran out. They're going to do more next year.
okay.
That
Good to know.
parade went on forever.
Ever. That
And-
was the first time I've ever watched the parade because I've always been
Oh,
in
walking in it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And my kids came home with more candy than we've got at any parade in our entire... I mean, and I'm talking real candy.
Oh, yeah.
Not the flavored Tootsie Rolls that everybody... So to you that are still throwing those out, step it up. But I mean, like candy bars.
High chews.
Yes. Snickers. We had...
Yeah.
It was
So much
insane.
It was a first class parade. And I
It
will not
was.
say what town it was, but my 10-year class reunion, we had been up all night and I had to go MC the parade. And the parade only had 20-some entries in it. And they went up the street and I was just wanting to get home so bad. And I said, okay, well, thanks for coming out today. And the guy goes, no, he said they turn around and come back the other way.
Oh, my.
So now we got to describe the left side of the float. It was like, please let me go.
I'm
No.
still waiting for Lena and I to get that invite to MC the parade.
Oh, wait
No
till you get
kidding.
to judge one. That'll be even better.
Ooh. I don't think I want that. I don't think
Yeah.
I want that.
You
I
want
just
that pressure?
do not want that pressure.
And we're just going to have to skip over the cars. I don't really know a lot about
Me either.
models
Whoa,
or...
look at the rims on that puppy. Cutie in the front. Mhm. Yeah.
We're still talking about the car.
I was just going to say, I'm not going to say a word right now because, yeah.
I do.
This was so awesome.
Yeah, I will say last thing. Parade. Trip is like such an American boy. Like when he was at the volleyball game last week, he got sit on our bench and he was just so ready for the national anthem. He had his hand on his heart the whole time.
That's good.
And at the parade, because again, we've always walked in the parade, and I was like, oh, my kids are at that age now that they would like the parade. And Trip was so impressed by the biggest American flag he's ever seen. He was just he was so intrigued by that. And
In the Heritage Day?
yeah,
I don't
it
remember
was
that
the
one.
beginning.
Yeah,
and they carried it.
A bunch of the vets carried the
Yeah, the
huge flag. There was
huge
15
flag.
or
Oh,
18
gosh. I
of
don't
them.
even
Yeah,
remember.
and Trip
Oh,
was he was just and he was yelling at all of his friends to make sure their hand was on their heart.
That's
See,
so
that's
awesome.
the cowboy in him right
Oh
there.
gosh,
That's
he
the
loved
cowboy.
it, and that was the first thing. When we called Clay and told him about the parade, he's like, "You should have seen the flag that we saw." And it was just so
was cool.
cute. Yeah,
That's amazing. That was good.
But all right, thank you, Cal.
You know,
Yes.
it's really been my pleasure. The time flew by, and
Yeah.
you guys are doing a great job. So
Oh,
And-
thank you.
Yeah,
I
we'll
don't
see
care what
you.
anybody says. Keep it up.
We'll see you Friday.
We will see. No, well, just for a few minutes,
for a
just
few
maybe
minutes,
Friday, because
yeah.
I got to go watch my grandson play football too. So
All right, go Bison.
Go,
Go
Bison.
Good luck on Friday, by the way. And thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Coaching, Caffeine, and Comedy. I'm your host, Haley Kobza.
And I'm Lena.
Thank you.